Right. I think this is on. Almost a year of doing this, and I'm still never sure. I'm never totally sure when this begins. Hmm. Okay. Well, good morning, everybody. Happy Friday morning. Yeah, I mean, these are the depths and of the year, the darkest part of the year. It's not going to be light outside for a little while longer. And I've been struggling with offering these early morning practices because, I just want to go back to sleep, and I'm imagining that most of you do too. But I don't know. I think I want to play around a little bit with this Friday morning format at least, and I'm thinking that today at least we're going to get started standing up. We're just going to stand up for our practice rather than lay back down. Who needs that? It's just early. It's dark. We'll be back to sleep in no time if we lay back down. A practice that I have been participating in since the start of the new year is rolling out my feet every morning with a tennis ball. And this is something that I learned a long time ago, but recently I took a movement for trauma training where the teacher, Jane Clapp, told us that rolling out our feet is really important when we're dealing with super stressful situations because the bottom of our feet represents the part of our body that's furthest away from where all the stress response is happening. So imagine a stress response, right? It has a lot to do with your vagus nerve, which is the base of your skull. Okay, and it travels down into all of your organs. Okay, the bottoms of your feet are the furthest you can get away from all of your internal organs. So it's a way to draw attention away from this part of you that's so stressed out and back down into the ground again. We've all had a ridiculously stressful year. I don't think that there's a single person I know who's like, oh, this has been fine. No worries, everything's cool. We've all been kind of driven in some way or another to have to reevaluate things and to look into how we're functioning and what we want to keep and what we want to toss. So taking a little bit of time just to take care of yourself in this way can be really nice. So I put a tennis ball on the floor. A tennis ball is ideal. If you have something like yoga tune-up balls, that's even more ideal because they're a little less slippery, a little more tacky, and they don't fly away as easily. But you don't even need a tennis ball. You can use a can from the cabinet. I, for a little while, was using a tomato paste can. It was just the perfect size. All right, so we're just going to take the tennis ball underneath our foot, and before we do anything structured, just kind of roll it around and take notice of how your foot is feeling. You can let your hands do anything. Sometimes I let them sit by my sides, other times I want them on my hips. Sometimes I take my hands to my heart, but just taking a moment to kind of roll that ball around on the bottom of one of your feet. How does the foot feel today? Is it kind of stiff? Is it kind of grumpy? Does it feel good? Maybe it feels great. Lucky you. And so from here, let's just take these broad strokes of the arch. Right? Really, maybe even rapidly rolling the ball from the toes to the heel. Good. You might spend a couple of moments really digging into some part of the foot that feels a little tender, a little uncomfortable. For me, it's always the inner arch. Right near the heel, there's this nice tender spot. Good. So just a few more moments worth of this rapid rolling of the foot on the ball. Right, and then let's take the ball and place it underneath the ball of your foot, and your heel's going to be on the floor, and we're just going to roll our toes, the ball of the foot, along the ball side to side. Okay, so you're moving all of the bones of the foot here. Maybe relax your toes and take a quick look at your toes and notice how they're moving or not moving. And remember to breathe. Okay, You might be breathing in and out of your nose here. Ideally in and out of the nose, but if your mouth has popped open, just be aware of that too. Good. A few more breaths. All right, and then we're going to pass the ball back to the heel. And let's place the ball of the foot on the floor and just step down. Again, because I have that wacky tender spot in the heel, this part always feels like, what is happening? Right, so just take a couple moments to really like squish that tennis ball under your foot. Really step down. Good. Great, a few more breaths like this. Stepping down on your tennis ball. You're really pressing the heel in. All right, and then just go ahead and shake that foot out. Give it like a big, 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 big shake. Good. All right, and then let's set that foot down on the floor. And feet are just going to be right about hip socket distance. Close your eyes. Feel the foot that you just rolled out. Feel the other foot. And then for a moment, bring your attention kind of out of your feet and notice this natural wobble that your body has. This little side to side or front to back kind of wiggle. And let's take 3 deep breaths, and with the exhales, really feel your feet on the floor. Good. One more breath. Alrighty, go ahead and just move that tennis ball underneath the other foot now. So just kind of like feeling it out. Not doing anything super structured just yet, but noticing the way that other foot feels. For me, this foot's always a little bit more tender, a little more talkative. Right, so taking notice. Is this the foot that you stand on most of the time? Is this the foot that you kind of grip the world with? Do you lead with this foot when you walk? Noticing the sensations in our physical body so that we can begin to understand our patterns of movement, the way we move in the world. Alrighty, and now just begin that broad stroke, so that long, long strokes with the ball along the sole of the foot. You might move sort of rapidly, keep that ball moving. Maybe you're moving a little more slowly and pressing down into spots that feel a little funky. Perfect. All right, notice your breath. What's that like this morning? And just a couple more deep breaths, rolling the ball along the length of the foot. All right, and then from here, just place the heel down. Take the ball underneath the ball mound of the foot. We're going to move the foot side to side. You let your toes be really loose and relaxed. Yeah, whenever I do this, it's just like, oh, such relief. You might let yourself make some noise with your mouth, you know, letting a big breath or two out if you want to. Good. Just another couple breaths, rocking that ball side to side. And then let's roll that ball back to the heel and just step down a bunch of times. Good. Again, noticing how this heel might be slightly different from your other heel. Maybe this one's a little more or less tender. Good, another breath or two. All right, and then let's get rid of the ball. So just kind of kick it out of the way. And let's stand up on both feet here. Feet right under your hip sockets. Your knees might have like a gentle bend to them. Okay, you might even like shake your knees out a little bit. Oh, I forgot to shake the foot. Let's shake that foot really good here. Good. And then go ahead and set that foot down. Nice. And let's just take a moment with your eyes closed, both of your feet on the floor, standing up in Tadasana or mountain pose. In mountain pose, maybe your palms are facing forward. Your knees might be a little bit soft, but generally the heart is kind of lifting here. Your pelvis is neutral. And let your shoulders find some ease. And before we move on with the rest of our day, maybe we'll practice a little bit of some balancing poses. Yeah, we have a few minutes here. Good. So there are a couple of different options. You can move to a floor that's like a hard floor, like a wood or tile or whatever. You might also try to throw yourself off a little bit by coming into something squishy. So I'm going to take my blanket and just kind of roll it up here. Not roll it up, but fold it up so that there's like a spot that I can stand on. And why don't we just practice a simple tree pose this morning? So I have my right foot down, and then I'm going to take the left big toe down to the floor and point that left knee out to the side. This is a good place to begin, or you might bring that left foot up to your right inner leg somewhere if you're feeling it. Okay, holding yourself here in this pose, just notice your sense of balance after having rolled out your feet. You can do anything you want with your hands. I have Hakini Mudra in front of me, which is all of your fingertips connecting to the other hand's fingertips. Helps to promote focus and concentration and a sense of balance. Good. Just hanging on here for a few moments. Right, and then go ahead and just let yourself down and give yourself a nice little swing. Balancing is a really interesting thing. Normally, like in a yoga practice, we often hold still. We're looking for that still point when we're balancing. In real life, we're trying to balance as we're moving. And sometimes when we're practicing our yoga balances, we can get a little bit like physically rigid because we're trying so hard to hang on. So this little bit of swinging around in between might be a nice way to just kind of break that up. Good, because truthfully, if you move into a balanced pose in a rigid kind of way, you're going to fall down. That's just the way it works. Good. All right. So now let's find maybe our squishy blanket. Maybe you're finding your hardwood floor or whatever you want underneath that other foot. I'm going to have my left foot down. My right big toe touches the ground. Okay, but maybe that right foot comes up somewhere onto the calf. The knee, if your knee is okay. Any knee injuries, I would avoid the knee, but otherwise it's okay. Or maybe all the way up to the inner thigh. Notice your breath here. Notice your natural wobble and your ability to kind of come back from it and find that sort of catch within yourself. Good. Just hang here for another small handful of breaths. Good. Maybe one more breath or so. Great, and then go ahead and just set yourself back down. And would you look at that? Both of your feet are on the ground. Maybe you've got something to do now. Maybe it's time for coffee. Maybe you want to shake it out. Maybe you want to turn on some music, start your day. But thanks for joining me this morning for this little bit of balancing and foot rolling. I'll see you on Monday morning where we'll have our regular mudra and meditation practice. Okay, I'll see you soon.